Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, and I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you are enjoying this show, you can also check out the Premiere Boys Podcast, hosted by myself, Aaron Keatok Sands, the Star Rider Rod, and Long Live Chief Mighty Mal, where we discuss everything that's going on in the culture, from love, relationships, music, sex, politics, and many more. We can make you laugh, but the show could get a little raunchy, and it may not be for everybody. But if you are curious to listen to the Premier Boy podcast, you can tune in to the Premier Boy podcast every Wednesdays at 12 a.m. or all podcast platforms, a part of the Premier Powerverse Network. Other shows that you can check out on the Premier Powerverse Network is King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron King Talk Sands every Friday at 12 p.m. Star Time Podcast hosted by the Star Rider Rod every Monday at 12 p.m. And Welcome to the Trilogy hosted by Long Live the Chief Mighty Mel every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Listen and support every show in the Premier Powerverse, including this show, Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, who is also a part of the Premier Powerverse Network. Thank you for listening to this message and check out the show. Chill! You are now listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 9. Chill! Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, one fourth of the Premier Boys Podcast, and your host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome to another new episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Hope all is well. Yes, we are finally back, and we are finally back from a unexpected break. Originally, this break was supposed to be 1 week break after Thanksgiving, but it went way longer than it's supposed to due to my schedule got crazy, my phone got messed up, and me just wasn't motivated to record anything. But I'm happy that I am here. I am back to give y'all the rest of season 9 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And on this episode, I'm going to talk about why I love what I do. And y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Gia.
And I'm Layla, and we're from the podcast She Fucking Did That.
And you are listening to the great Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, it's time for Mr. Gentleman Facts, quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is always be grateful for the journey that life puts you through. And not just the success stories that come out of it. And I say this because you should always appreciate life, no matter if it's good or bad, because that's what makes you, you. And that is today, Mr. Gentleman Facts, quote of the day. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, and I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And this commercial break is brought to you by Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. On Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, we interview many guests about their life journey, pretty much where they come from and where they're at now. Also promoting their brands or whatever they're doing at the time they come on the show. We also have the host talk about personal stories about himself and everything that he's been through. And also we have fun conversation about anything music, anything old school, relationships, wrestling, and many more. And y'all can tune in to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays at 12 a.m. We are also on every Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Spin-Up Series Thursdays, where we have all of Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast spin-off series all in one day, where we have a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Riding Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And we have Date Night Talk podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursday at 12 a.m. And y'all can tune in to Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, The Pods, and many more. Or y'all can check it out on the official website of Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlikethatpodcast.com, www.realmrgentlemanlikethatpodcast.com, and tune in every Sundays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in to this commercial break of Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Cheer!
Hello, this is Juju here, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, the time for the main event topic. And today's topic is why I love what I do, meaning why I love being a podcaster, why I love making this show, Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast. And the reason why I made this the topic because I was at work, and every time I'm at work, that's what I get my creators thinking on when I'm at work. Not only that, we are also coming up into the 7-year anniversary of Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast coming on January 20th. And I want to remind y'all and remind myself why I love what I do. And I love what I do because I love hearing other people's stories. One thing I wanted to do when I made Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast was to hear other people's stories, especially my close friends. Because I know a lot of talented people, from artists, music artists, rappers, singers, teachers, nurses, doctors, authors, podcasters, content creators, and many more. I felt like they never get a chance to show their talents because they're either scared, they don't have the platform to show their talents, or they just don't know where to grow. So I started this show because I wanted to give a platform for the people that I believe in and let their voice be heard to the world on whatever they're doing, what they've been through, and everything like that. Because I believe in a lot of people, and I want to see them win. So that's why I love what I do. Another reason why I love what I do is sharing my story. And if everybody know me, everybody know I don't like to share. But making the show and the guests that came on my show inspired me to really want to share more. From sharing about me being bullied as a kid, sharing me having speech problems growing up, from starting the show, from dealing with anxiety, depression, mental health, and everything. And I wanted to thank y'all for taking the time to join me on the journey and listen to me. Because honestly, I felt like people was going to listen to what I had to say. I felt like I didn't belong here. I felt like I was dealing with imposter syndrome. I feel like I didn't belong here, but if it wasn't for y'all taking a chance on Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast and being inspired by what I was saying, y'all just don't understand how much that means to me. So thank you for taking a chance on me and hearing my story. And now 7 years later, I'm still doing it, and I really owe it to y'all. So thank y'all for believing in me. Another reason why I love what I do, because I love to inspire others. And one thing that happened when I was doing this show was a lot of people telling me that I inspired them in some kind of way from starting the podcast, from them when they're having bad days, they heard my show and I made them feel better. And so many positive messages, and hearing those messages really means a lot. 'Cause I didn't know that I was doing all those things for y'all. And hearing so much positive messages make me want to continue to do what I love. And yeah, like I said, I never get those. So hearing that from y'all and telling y'all say stuff like, I'm a legend, so that I'm helping y'all through many bad times. It really means a lot, and it made me love what I do even more. And when I'm making Mr. Gentleman Like the podcast, all I really want to do was to really be heard. And by y'all hearing me, it just made me love the show even more. So yeah. And one thing that I love also about what I do is I love making a name for myself. I love being a podcaster. I love being a creator. I love being a producer. I love being a host. I love being an editor. I love helping others the best way that I can. And at this stage of my life now, I want to help more upcoming podcasters, teach them how to start a podcast and hope lead the way to future generations. And, I love what I do. I don't do this because for viral moments. I don't do this to fit in. I don't do this just for likes and comments or to be famous and all like that. I'm doing it because I want to make my voice heard, inspire others, and let the world hear the people I know that I believe in, that everybody believe in the same thing that I believe in everybody else. And I want to make an impact with the Gentleman Like the podcast and bigger impact for years to come. Of course, there've been times that I didn't think I could do it, but when you get to that point, you just have to realize, take a step back and realize why you started this in the first place and why you love doing this in the first place. And once again, thank y'all for believing in me and believing in everything that I do. And thank you for joining me on the journey from the beginning and continue to join me on this journey for years to come. As we approach the 7-year anniversary of Mr. Gentleman Like the podcast, let's continue to go on the journey together. And thank you for making me love what I do and making me share my talents and my story and my voice to the world. And y'all just listening to me and as we continue to grow together. Thank you, and we'll be right back. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman. Now, I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, and this commercial break is brought to you by Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents Spinoff Series Thursdays. And Spinoff Series Thursday is the new home for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Spinoff Series that brought to you shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast, The Old School Show, and Date Night Talk Podcast. And A Conversation About Music Podcast is a music spin-off series where we talk about anything music, from the current music scene and the old school music scene, where we interview many guests that's in the music industry and artists about their music journey. We have a segment game called The Face Off, which is a versus inspired game. And we have roundtable discussion about variety of music topics. And y'all can check out A Conversation About Music podcast every first Thursdays at 12 a.m. Every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Now, the old school show that featured myself and the star Roddy Rod is a show where we discuss anything old school, from music, TV shows, movies, and many more. We also bring in guests to join in on the old school conversation. Y'all can check out the old school show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. Every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And last but not least, we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B, where we talk about anything relationship related topics like love, dating, relationships, cheating, the good and the bad, and many more. And y'all can check out this spin-off series, Date Night Talk Podcast, every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. So look out for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Presents Spin-off Series Thursday, a conversation about music podcast every first Thursdays. The old school show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursdays, and Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays. And y'all can check out Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays for the main series and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays. And thank y'all for checking out this commercial break. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. True! Just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning into the latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you for riding with me for all these years and many years to come. So once again, thank you. If you want to check out Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, you can check us out every Sunday for the main series, every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays, where we have shows like a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday at 12 p.m. Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Vanna B every second Thursday at 12 p.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. And the newest spin-off series Thursday show, the Top 20 Countdown Show with myself and Jalen, coming in 2026, and every third Thursday at 12 p.m. And also look out for our other newest spin-off series Thursday show, Date Night Talk Stories, coming in 2026. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and many more. Y'all can rate the show 5-star rated on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Podchases. The more you already show more people know about Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If it would be a guest on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, you'll see me a bio about yourself and everything that you do to my email, Ken, YPGANT@gmail.com, or hit me up on social media, Ken _Mr. Gentleman. I repeat, Ken, KEN _Mr. MR, Gentleman, GENTLEMAN. And we something like I am looking for guests to season 10 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, where you can listen to all the episodes of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can watch the original version of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast called Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. And you can also check out Mr. Gentleman Fact Quote of the Day that will be dropping every Monday on all platforms, including YouTube. And subscribe to the YouTube channel at Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can also check me out on the Premier Boys Podcast with myself, Aaron Kitoxian, the Star Rider Rod, and the Long Lived Chief Mighty Mel. New episodes every Wednesdays at 12 a.m. new episodes of the Premier Way podcast every Wednesday to 12 p.m. on all podcast platforms, except for Spotify, a part of the Premier Podverse Network. Other shows in the Premier Podverse Network: King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron King Talk Sands. You can check out all episodes right now on all podcast platforms. And look out for his newest show, At the Hours with Aaron Sands, coming real soon. You can also check out Star Top Podcast, hosted by the Star Writer Rod. You can check out all episodes of all podcast platforms right now. And look out for new episodes of Welcome to the Trilogy, hosted by Long Live Chief Mighty Mal, right now as well. Listen and support every show in the Premier Podverse Network. And at this time, it's time for everybody's favorite segment. Time for Mr. Gentlemen, like the shout out. Where we shout out for the 5 shows that we get them their flowers. And today we're gonna shout out 5 shows on Mr. Gentlemen, like the shout outs. And the first show that we're gonna shout out is ACMG Digital Podcast, hosted by Alejandra. And this podcast talk about entrepreneurship, motivation, leadership, and experiences. She interviewed many guests from entrepreneurship and many more. They share their story, and this is a really, really good show. I was also on this show, and she was also on Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast on season 7 of Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast. This is a really dope show. Check out ACMG Digital Podcast on all podcast platforms. The next show that we're going to talk about is She Spills Podcast, hosted by Amanda. This podcast is for women building a bond, beautiful business, and life, one conversation at a time. This is one of the newest shows that I just started listening to, and so far, this is a really good show. So check out She Spills Podcast, a very new show. Check it out and support her. The next show we're going to talk about is Hippo Wellness Podcast, hosted by Cindy. And Hippo Wellness is about helping people achieve ultimate wellness through the power of hypnosis. And this show is a part of the Unfiltered Studio Network. This is a really good show. And you can learn something from the show. So check out Hippo Wellness right now. The next show we're going to talk about is Unpacking the Bounce Podcast, hosted by Linnea. And this podcast interviews many guests. She shares stories about her life and many more. This is a really good show. I'm definitely a fan of this show. She keeps it real on every episode that she do. And she have a really dope guest. And that I like, one thing about me, I like listening to people's stories. I like the guests she bring on the show because they share their stories. So check out Unpacking the Box Podcast, hosted by Linnea. Really dope show. Check it out. And the last show we're going to talk about is Conversation with Toy, hosted by Toy. And this podcast discusses life journey, whether that is through failure or success. This is a really good show. She had guests that come on the show. She'll share a lot of personal stories and many more. This is a really good show as well. Check out Conversation with Toy as well. And check out the 5 shows that I mentioned on this week. Mr. Gentleman, like that, shout outs. ACMG Digital Podcast, She Spills Podcast, Hippo Wellness Podcast, Unpacking the Box with Linnea, and Conversation with Toy. And that is this week, Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Shoutouts. And of course, add me on Good Pods, Ken, Mr. Gentleman. Y'all already know Good Pod catered to many independent podcasters. You can see what everybody listens to. We rate each other's shows, and we have the charts. At this moment, we are not on no charts at the moment because we had not been on for like a month. But shout out to Good Pod because we was on many charts for Good Pod before we took an unexpected break. We were number 1 for Society and Culture. We were number 1 for Personal Journal. We were number 1 for Top 100 Episodes. We were number 1 for Dating. We were number 1 for Music Interviews. And we were number 1 for Self-Improvement Podcast. So thank you, everybody who tuned in to Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast on Good Pods. And continue to get us back on the chart, not only on Good Pods, but on all podcast platforms. Really means a lot. And yeah, we're going to do big things. And thank you for everybody who's been checking out Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast when I was on our unexpected break. And yeah, continue to support the show. Thank you. And of course, check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, where you can check out every episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, all 261 episodes of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can check out every guest who's been on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, all 83 guests who've been on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can watch every video of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can check every guest that I've been on. More guest appearances coming real soon. I will be starting the Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast promo tour. Welcome on different platforms. I will be going on guests on different platforms starting in 2026, all 2026. So if you want me to be on your show, hit me up and let's do this. Also, check out the official merch store from Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.mrgentlemanlifestylepodcaststore.dasher.com, where we have shirts, hoodies, mugs, masks, and many more. Check out the official merch store so we can upgrade your listening experiences. And check out the official merch store of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.mrgentlemanlifestylepodcaststore.dasher.com. Check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com. And once again, thank you everybody for tuning into the latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you for always riding with me from day one, and many more to come, because it really means a lot. On the next episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, we have a new episode where we have our returning guest, Mr. Richardson, back on the show, where we'll be discussing all things wrestling. So we'll thank you once again for tuning into the latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Have a good day or night wherever you're listening to this episode. Merry Christmas and a happy holidays to all of y'all. True!
My name is Annika Hutchinson, and you're listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.